All right.
What's up?
To another episode of In the Green Bets. It's Masters Week. Best week of the year, in my opinion, golf-wise. But before we get diving in, spending a whole bunch of time on the Masters, I was net 21 units last week. So that's what you call a banner week. Best golf betting week of my career. 160 to 1 winner, JJ Spawn. Shout out to JJ Spawn. I don't know I'll ever hit a higher outright than 160 to 1. We were out there playing golf on Sunday, kind of sweating it. And, you know, other than a scary tee shot on 18, pretty stress-free last few holes there.
Yeah, that was fun. Matchups we had were unbelievable. Really, the week was awesome. I was plus, but I wasn't even close to what you had because I didn't have JJ Spawn. It was an enjoyable day for us out on the course. Not only that, just to hit the winner and talk about a lead into this week. I mean, this is one of the biggest weeks of the year, if not the biggest.
Yeah,
it's definitely the most popular golf tournament of the year as far as casual fans. So we're going to see a lot more money probably out there this week, a lot more people interested in bets. So hopefully they can stop by the show and look. But just an unbelievable momentum swing going into the week because I think we can have another profitable week this week. I know it seems as if the vibe right now is everybody doesn't really know what to do and everybody's kind of just penciling in JT because he's playing so well or because he hasn't won here yet. And he probably, you know, if you look at his career, he's probably going to win the Masters eventually. So we'll see. I think there's some opportunity out there because there's so many good players. There's so many guys who I think can win, hopefully stick in the top 25 world golf rankings and some lower odd guys. And I think we're going to have a good Sunday. Yeah.
We cleaned up pretty good for both of us last week. Matchups were awesome. Margin. Yep, 2-stroke margin. Thanks JJ Spawn for pars on the way in. Everybody else kind of just pissed down their leg. So yeah. A lot of momentum headed into the Masters. Wasn't great for us headed into that, for me at least, and then bang, big week. Now let's bounce back again and double it up. Yeah. This is a weird tournament in the sense that there's only 90 guys, and 10 to 12 of them have like no shot because they're just like past winners, old dudes who are just. You know, plus you throw in another 10 guys who are just playing shitty or just, you know, whatever. Right. So you're down to, let's call it 75 players who actually are, you know, legitimate players. But if you're talking outrights, and that's where we typically start, you're looking at, in my opinion, 22, 25 guys maybe. And I don't even think half of those really matter. Augusta is just a course where you have to have everything. You don't have to hit it super straight, but you got to hit it. You can't just miss every fairway. You got to hit. I think average winner here has hit like 59% of fairways, so about average. It doesn't kill you to be out of the fairway, but you got to put it in the fairway enough to give yourself looks. Then you have to be unbelievable with your irons because your margin for error is so small. Particularly if they can get the greens dried out and, you know, it's not just pitch it here, stop it here type of golf, which typically it's not. Greens are super undulated, big hills, and they're the fastest greens these guys will play all year. Chipping areas, super, super tight. Got to be really, really precise with your chipping, partially because the greens are so damn fast. If you don't hit it, you know, how you're wanting to hit it, it's not going to spin. It's not going to go where you want. And you have to miss it in the right spots. Course knowledge, experience here play a huge factor because there's nooks and crannies of this course where, you know, it's okay to hit it there. You know, Tiger obviously proved that in 2019. He played great, but he just knows where to hit it on every hole, and he's seen all the putts. He's made all the putts. It's a very, very unique tournament.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to kind of piggyback off of what you said is just the experience. I think that's such a big part because of all those things that you mentioned, right? You have to have these certain skills. You got to be good. I mean, those are all the things that the best players in the world possess. That's why they're the best players in the world. But not only
Right.
that is they have to take the next step and they have to go around the course with a plan. They have to go around the course knowing like, let's avoid this little area. Let's make sure we don't, when we approach, we don't put it down here in this little shelf. Like there's so many things, and that experience is going to pull through. So I think one of those elite guys, maybe a little on the older side, not older, but like not a super, super young. I think that's where I'm going to maybe lean this week as far as outrights, because I think when you get this many good players in the field, that experience is going to take over because we got ball strikers galore in this field. I mean, there are a billion of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're so good. So I think that'll take over. It'll be fun because, especially with all the hills and stuff in the fairway, it's like you could hit a good drive, go down there, and you're hitting out of a spot you've never hit out of in your life. Like you'd be like, what in the hell, So there's so many little things, and the viewing experience is going to be fun. I'm going to look for experience to be a key factor on my card.
Yeah, I was reading an article earlier this week that was full of trends, for winners and high finishers here. Most winners are over 30, or at least like 27, 28 at the youngest. Most guys have played here at least 3 times. Most have a top 10 previously. It's a course that you learn. It's one of those courses. And look, I was just looking at the odds board. In my opinion, there's 15 guys that are worth betting outright. I know that sucks. I know, and they're all shitty odds, but like this course demands like almost perfection in terms of if you're going to win, you have to hit all the shots. And there's with that many good players in the field, it's just the top of the market is so much deeper than it was 6-7 years ago. Used to have 3 or 4 awesome players and then kind of your middle pack that are all pretty similar. Now, Rahm, Scheffler, JT, Cam Smith, DJ, Hovland, Morikawa, McIlroy, Brooks, Xander, Spieth, Cantlay. All those guys, like they bring their A+ game. It's an onslaught. Like
right,
they will lap the field if they bring their A+ game 9 weeks out of 10. So it's weird, and to me, it's like just go to the top of the board, grab 2 or 3 of those guys, and just roll with it. Don't look any farther down the board. Top 30 in the official top 30 in the official world golf rankings and lower. Don't even look higher than that. Now, I bet one guy who's like 33rd in the world just because I wanted to diversify a little down the board, but I honestly don't think he's going to win. So grab one of those top guys and go from there is my advice. I know the odds aren't great, but they did throw some 20s on guys who are, in my opinion, very, very good looks to win.
Yeah, I was going to say even shorter. You said 30. I was going to say 25. That doesn't actually bring in that many people. Obviously, only 5, but it's only, Sung Jae, Kokrak, Zalatoris, I guess, kind of brings in him at 29 in the official world golf rankings. But I would definitely stick to that. If you're looking for outrights, this is definitely not the week to try to follow up a JJ Spawn with another JJ Spawn. Like that ain't happening.
No.
So, yeah, I would keep this simple, and not only in here. I think you can almost cross some of these guys off too.
100%.
Like you can probably cross off Bryson, and Bryson's 19, so that's the one guy you could take off. You could go.
Where do you see Bryson at 19?
At World Official Golf Rankings.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Harris Harris English is 23rd. There's another guy. There's a handful of guys you could just cross off. Now you only have that many people left, and you can just kind of pick and choose who you like. It's going to be hard to get away from a guy like John Rahm or JT based on their history here. It's unbelievable. Like the stars are aligning for these guys to win.
I hope we get the week where like 3 of them play great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those guys are playing pretty well too, which lines up for a pretty fun week. Cam Smith's coming off the players win. DJ just got third down there, fourth at match play. To me, I pull up this sheet and it was my first 2 clicks were easy. One was super easy because I knew I wanted to bet him coming in, and the fact that they dropped a 20 on him made me super happy. And then the other one was like, if you're going to give me Colin Morikawa at 20-1 in a major, I'm betting it every time.
Right.
The dude wins majors. This is a ball striker's course. This will be his third trip around here. I'll take him at 20. I know I would love to bet JT and Rahm, but I can't do it at 12 and 10. JT is first in my model by like a mile. He's doing everything super well. He's putting well. His irons are absolutely elite. He's driving the ball well. Wouldn't shock me if any of these guys won, like by any means. Like obviously, I'd be a little surprised if Vic won. No offense to Vic, I don't think he can chip good enough around here to like really win, unless he puts like his nuts off. But for me, it was Brooks and Morikawa, and I didn't even think about it. Brooks, I've been wanting to bet here for weeks. He missed the cut last year, but he was hurt. 2 years before that, top tens, and he really, really threatened in 19. He's a major guy. He takes down majors like no one else. And he's been riding at 16 for weeks, and they dropped the odds, and it's 20, and that was this easiest bet I've made all week.
Yeah, this is unfortunate that, I mean, I just can't go away from it because I've been on this the whole time. I've told you this, outside of the show multiple times. I think Justin Thomas is winning this event. I think everything's led up to him doing it. I saw earlier with somebody else placing a bet that you could get a 3-1 enhanced offering on any golfer in the Masters on DK. So if that's true, I don't know if that is for everybody or not. I haven't placed it yet, but if that's true, use that 3-1 or use some sort of promo or shop it around. Do whatever you can do to get a Justin Thomas at like 15 would be great. Even I know there's a 14 out there.
I saw somebody with a 17. I actually looked at every possible book in Illinois, even ones that I don't have accounts with, to see if I could get a 17 because I would have bet that in a millisecond. Yeah,
but I like it. I know the number is bad, but I can't. I think he's going to win. That's just my honest opinion. So I'm going to bet the 12-1. I don't even need to go into the JT thing. The way he's been playing coming into it is amazing.
This is my model. Now, not saying my model is the end all be all, but look at the difference there.
Right.
Everyone else is, incrementally separated, and JT's just on another planet. I agree. I think he is. I think he should be. I think he's the favorite. I think he's playing the best of all these guys. The course, obviously, perfect fit because he's such a good iron player, such a good short game player. You don't have to be a great putter here. It's more just about these 4 days. I saw a stat that a bunch of the previous winners have been outside the top 50 in putting the previous year on the PGA Tour. So, the greens are so pure that it's more about hitting it close in the right spots and giving yourselves the good looks because the hard putts most people don't make anyway. So I agree wholeheartedly. JT is, I'm not sure he's going to be my one and done. It's between him and Brooks for me, but he's like number one for me.
Yeah, I did my Tuesday names today, and one thing I did was I did tee to green last 24 rounds, and I only chose the elite players. So if you weren't like an elite, I didn't put you on the list. JT was number one. So it was like that right there got me. I was like, okay, well, this guy is just ready to go. A key stat I also had today on my list was strokes gained par 4 at this course. So how guys have scored on these par 4s when they played the Masters before. JT was right in there. He was in like the top 5 behind Rahm, Abe, Brooks, guy who we just talked about, who you talked about.
Yeah.
Louis up there. I don't think Louis is going to win, but he was up there. Will Zalatoris, another guy, DJ. I just think it adds up, and there's not really much you can talk me off of JT. He'll probably be my one and done this week.
So a lot of these guys can easily win. In my opinion, if you look at my screen right now, Rahm down to Cantlay, that's the group that the winner is coming from. If I could bet my whole bank account, that's the way. That's the place I would do it. Now, like I said, I bet Brooks and Morikawa, and then I bet Xander at 24. I'm ready to be hurt again. I've blacklisted him. He's broke my heart 100 times, including the Masters in 2019. But he profiles perfect for here. He bombs it. So that's like a key stat. You got to hit it pretty far. That's why Morikawa makes me a little nervous, but he can make up for it with, fucking nasty line. It's like he's an amazing player. So, but Xander profiles so well because he just does everything really, really well. So at 24, I just took it. I considered Spieth, to be honest with you, just purely off Spieth magic, and he showed some ball striking for him last week that maybe his putter will come around. And then, like I said, Cantlay. If we go down farther, is there anyone below Cantlay that you think can win, like on this list here?
Berger.
Berger was the other guy I bet. I bet him at 55. And then I bet Shane Lowry at 55.
Burger
Lowry,
was a highlight, and also Sam Burns is debutant, so he probably can't win. But he was a
he can't win.
no, he probably can't win.
Debutants don't win, unfortunately for Sam Burns. But I bet Berger at 55, and I bet Lowry at 55. Lowry's the guy that I said I don't really think can win, but his form is really good. And if we got some weird weather or something, I think that would benefit him. I considered Louis, but his form's not amazing. I honestly really didn't consider anybody else. I thought about Adam Scott, but I don't really think Adam Scott's going to win. We get down here, and it's like, if you bet these guys, you're throwing your money away. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, the only one there would be Neiman. I mean,
yeah, Neiman. I was getting ready to say that Neiman would be the one guy that I would consider adding, but I'd rather just invest more at the top. I'd rather take another guy. I'd rather take Cantlay at 25 than Neiman at 65 still, even given the odds, just because that's where the winners come from. They don't come from down there. Just doesn't happen.
Yeah, we don't need to waste too much time on these guys. It's just a matter of, finding. I mean, they're all so good. That's the other thing too. Is like it's hard. Like Morikawa, right? He doesn't have the form as some of these guys, but he's already won 2 majors. Like, he's got to win.
Look,
he's unbelievable.
He's got more majors than Rahm. He's got more majors than JT. He's got more majors. He's got the same amount of majors as DJ. It's like, that was kind of my thing. It's like, look, his irons are awesome. This course demands iron play. His putting has been better this year, so it doesn't worry me quite as much. He's on his 3rd trip around here.
Right.
20-1 in a major for Morikawa based on his performance in majors thus far in his career. It's auto bet for me.
I think we may have said that last time, like, hey, if he's at 20, just bet him.
Yeah, auto bet in a major at 20. Yeah. He's got the mental game. He's got the, I'm just going to keep hitting it at the flag over and over and over again.
Right.
I listened to him on the pod. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, where he mentioned, look, like everybody says it's a draws course. You basically the course really only forces you to hit 2 draws. Tiger's a cutter. Now he hits it both ways, and he kind of hits whatever shot he needs to hit. He's not necessarily a cutter, but we've seen him win. We've seen DJ win. I don't think that his fading is really that big of an issue. And we've seen Brooks compete here. He hits a fade. I'm not so worried about that. I think that's a little overblown. But, this is beating a dead horse. But, the Jon Rahm to Cantlay range, put all your money there. Don't really go lower. And I'm sorry if somebody random wins, but, that doesn't happen very often. That's a 1 in 10 year.
So I want to discuss Xander real quick.
All right. Well, this is I have a soft spot for Xander, and he was sitting there at 24, and I just could not do it.
I don't want to bet him. I honestly don't. I promise you I don't. But his finishes are so good here.
Look, the course is perfect for him.
Would it surprise you if he won?
No, hell no. No, he gets shit on all the time because he doesn't win. Rightfully so. He's pissed away a bunch of tournaments, including the 19 or the 20 Masters when he hit it in the water, or the 21 last year's Masters when he hit in the water on 16, down 1 shot with Matsuyama kind of looking shaky. He is amazing at golf. Tee to green, putting, everything. He's got it all. I'm telling you, everybody says, well, he's going to win one. Oh, he's going to win one. He is going to win a major, and I actually think this is the one that he's best suited to win because
this course you're saying, right?
The course. You can learn the course. His is his 4th Masters, I think. This is his 5th Masters. First year was 50th. He was not the same Xander Schauffele in 2018. Second, 17th, 3rd since then. And he finishes top 10 in every single major he plays. He's got the highest top 10 percentage in a career of guys who've played at least 10 majors. If he keeps putting himself in the mix, he's gonna win one. At 24 with his form, he's also playing pretty good. He's doing fine in that category. He got screwed in the draw at the Players, but look, I don't want to bet him either. He's broke my heart, stabbed me in the chest 100 times. But if you drop him at 24 on a course that he's got a 2nd and a 3rd, in the last 3 tries, I'm gonna bet him.
This sounds a little crazy, but I kind of like him kind of like his odds better in an event where a elite is going to win. Like, because I don't really think him playing against like all those other guys behind him playing up into him, I don't really think that helps his chances. Like in a course that demands more, that's where I think that it helps him because he can kind of separate himself just based on pure skill. And then you'll just have to get lucky on this. Like you'll just have to hope to God that he doesn't choke. But if he's in the mix, he's in the mix. And if he's that good a player, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I really like him. I'm for sure going to have a top 10 on him, and I got to make a decision in the next, few hours, even coming in tomorrow morning on whether I'm going to place the outright on him or not.
So we've talked a lot about outrights, but so if you look at this top list again, probably at least one, probably 2 of these guys are missing the cut. Who is it for you? Who are the guys out of this area where you're not that excited about?
Oh my God.
It's hard because they're all just unbelievable.
Scotty would be the super letdown because
I think Scotty's going to win.
Oh my God.
I keep thinking to myself like, oh, it's going to stop for him. He's not just going to keep winning, but he's playing fucking unbelievable.
Right.
Like
we never talked about Victor.
I think Victor is like a top. This is a course that Victor will top 20 at, like in perpetuity, but he'll never win because he can't chip good enough.
Yeah.
Like his ball striking is maybe good enough that one year he could just hit a bajillion greens and putt good and win that way. But you have to hit these little delicate chips that are, you got to hit it high, you got to hit it low, you got to have a bunch of spin, you got to have no spin, you got to do everything you can do with a wedge to succeed here, and he does not have that.
I think Spieth would probably be the answer based on form, right? But it's kind of hard to bet against him on a course like this.
Hell no. I agree on the form side, but no way I'm betting against Spieth at Augusta.
I'm not going to have any miss the cut bets. I'm just going to make that clear. But
no. Also, we'll talk about this later in our special session. FanDuel's letting you do make the cut parlays.
Ooh.
And so I've got an.
The odds really bad.
Yeah, but I found a 5-way that pays like plus 190.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, for me, I think Vic would be the one that if I could get like a DJ matchup or a Brooks matchup, I'd probably bet the other side. I see the Scheffler argument in that, like, is he really just going to keep playing awesome? But I kind of think he's just going to keep playing awesome because he keeps doing it over and over again.
I honestly don't think any of these guys are going to miss the cut. Like, I'm not betting any of these guys to miss the cut.
No, I'm just saying, like, a couple of them probably are.
Right.
Also, this course sets up really well for Scheffler. That's my other thing. It's like he can fucking bomb it, and his irons have been awesome. And it's like he does that here, he might win again. Imagine he rips off like 4 out of 7, including the Masters, a WGC, 2 other big tournaments. That would be incredible.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of. I mean, Rory, I guess, but that is probably not going to happen. I mean, Rory wants to win this event. Like that, this is like a big, humongous win if he gets this win.
Well, this is career Grand Slam.
Yeah, so he obviously has all the motivation in the world to play well, and his form's actually not too bad. So I don't really have arguments against many of those guys on that list.
I think that we're going to – I want to talk about Tiger, but I want to just talk about Tiger, so we'll save that here for a bit. Let's move into some derivatives. Farther down the list, I'm going back to betting top 10s this week only because there's basically, like I said earlier, 75 guys who are really competing. My best bet's a top 10, so I'll save that. Your best bet's a top 10.
Lowest odds on the board.
whoever you like on those guys at the top, whoever your 2 or 3 guys are from 25 to 1 and less, just grab them top 10. I love Brooks at 2-1. I love Xander at 210. That's your insurance when he fucking daggers you on Sunday. Spieth at 220. You can do worse than that. That dude top 10s here every time. So. Yeah, I think that's basically my advice is go to the top, pick 3 guys, bet them, and go from there, and grab their top 10 numbers, and that's your insurance for them.
Yeah.
I think you could hit 2 or 3 of these pretty easily.
275 burger is a good number. I don't mind that at all. Something like
So
why is Henley so high up there? What is
because
his deal?
he's basically the best ball striker on tour, not named Justin Thomas, and he has good finishes here.
Well,
Henley,
I'm not betting that Henley number, so I'm staying away from that.
Henley has 3 top 21s here his last 3 starts.
Okay.
So here's my Berger thing. I think Berger is good enough to win here. He does not hit the ball in the way that you need to hit the ball to win here. He hits it low. You got to hit it fucking high here to get the ball to stop. He hits it low. I still bet him outright because the number is wrong at 55 based on his ability. But if you go look at his finishes here, he has a 10th and then 2 finishes outside the top 25 and then a miscut. He just doesn't hit it that high, so it makes it harder on his irons to stick it close. But he plays the right ball flight. He hits it far. Really good chipper and putter, but I'm a little worried he doesn't hit it high enough. So, I'm leery on the top 10 with him. I just based on that. But if I'm going down the board farther, Louis plus 350. I don't mind Corey Connors plus 450. We're getting in some guys though that are probably top 20s for me.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to these next ones because I got some names I'd like to place in this range or that range.
In the for 20s.
Yep.
Yeah. So top 20s, the ones that stood out for me: Fitzpatrick, Lowry, Connors. Fitzpatrick's playing amazing. His driving has gotten a lot better, so I'm not necessarily worried about him butting it around here and struggling with long irons. Lowry's playing really good, and Corey Connors has been really good here and is playing good golf. Yeah.
Neiman, who I mentioned earlier, I think that number is not bad, that 180.
Definitely.
And a guy that I'm going to have as a top 20, maybe as a 30 if I get scared, is Siwoo Kim. I like Siwoo Kim this week. He was on my names today. Bent lightning putting, so bent surfaces really, really fast. He was up there. Strokes gained par 4 at the course. Like I said earlier, Siwoo was on that list just after JT, which is nice. He's been playing really well. His form is awesome. He played well again last week. I think that his history and his ball strike, I think he's a sneaky play for a 20 or a 30 this week.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Abe plus 230. Justin Rose plus 250. I'm usually betting against him, but his history here is super. He's actually played a little bit better golf of late.
What about Cameron Champ? He plays here. He strangely plays well here.
Yeah, but his form's so bad, you just can't talk me into it, I don't think. Bobby Mack plus 350 for sure. I'd be interested in playing good golf.
Not Cameron Champ. Cameron Young. Him and Sam Burns.
I was getting ready to say him. I wish the odds were worse. I don't know why he's priced with Paul Casey and Mark Leishman and not with these guys down farther. But his game sets up perfect because he fucking nukes it and he'll give himself a bunch of good looks on par 5s. That's kind of like the recipe here. I'm a little worried about his chipping and putting to some degree, but the dude bombs it, and that's like a automatic advantage here.
Fantasy National rankings by all the par 5s were the easiest ones. It was just all the par 5s in a row for the scoreable holes, and then you just have to hold your own, obviously, on those hard, weird, dog-legged, bumpy, long par 4s that are all out there.
Yeah, so here's Cam Young, 14th in my model, obviously good off the tee. Opportunities gained is high, which means he hits close iron shots. Part of that's because he's hitting wedges when everybody else is hitting irons, but this number is a bit nerve-wracking to me, and this number is scary to me. Everything else, though, excellent. I will consider him. I wish his number wasn't. I don't know why he's priced where he is because he's a debutant as well. Damn, look at those off the tee numbers. They're so good.
I'm gonna look up Gooch. I haven't looked up Gooch. Have you done any Gooch deep dives?
He played here last year for the first time, right? Or is this his debut?
This is his debut.
This is his debut.
He's another player that kind of has the skill set to play well here, though.
in theory, yes, but Taylor Gooch, I've said this for a while. Obviously, when he's playing good, this isn't true, but his fantasy national page is a checkerboard. You never know what's coming out the bag. He could gain 1 week in one category and lose and do the opposite in the next. Like, look at this. Just now, there's definitely a trend ball striking. He's a good approach player for sure when he's on, but I don't know. Wasn't somebody that I like automatically looked at for sure. But he hits it. He's one of the longer guys if need be.
Will Zalatoris, are you going to be having him on any bets?
It's a good question because I'm a Will Z truther in terms of his ball striking. I do think that he is super live for a top 20. I don't know. I can't remember what his odds are. I don't think they're that good. Plus 110. I will not be betting him at that number, but I
mean,
given the right matchup,
numbers had to have been a little fluky, right?
Well, his putting was fluky last year. He putted his ass off.
That's what I'm saying. Is it was fluky that he putted so well last year.
100%. I mean, there's no reason you have to think that because he's putted like shit basically every other tournament.
He's been
but he profiles perfect for here.
Yeah,
he bombs it. Really good long iron player. Just really good iron player. Period. His chipping is pretty good. The problem is his putting is like historically bad. Look at this. 75th in this field in strokes against short game. That's almost last. Where is the Zalatoris? Yes, second in my model. First in approach. 10th in driving distance. I like him. I just don't know that the number is there that makes me want to bet him.
Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty popular this week too. So
I would rather bet him than Berger on a top 20 though.
Okay. That's it. Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good info.
I mean, and if you bet Bryson, you're high on that. Like, there's no way they're giving you good Bryson matchups, but if for some reason they gave you any of these guys around him on a matchup, and it's not like juice to the moon, bet the shit. Yeah, I was looking here earlier. Burns minus 160. It's like if that was minus 130, I wouldn't even think about it. It would be auto bet.
Yeah, you want to jump into some matchups right now?
Yeah, let's do it. I was looking here earlier. KH Lee is plus money over Stuart Sink. I don't even have to go look and see if KH Lee's playing good. Stuart Sink's playing horrific, and he's
been bad for multiple months.
He has, in theory, way more experience than KH Lee, but like, he sucked. I mean, Stuart Sink has straight up sucked for a while. So, anything stand out obvious to you?
Well, I'm trying to open Rivers. I can't. It's not working right now. But
Hoagie over Varner. I like Hoagie's ball striking profile and his putting a little bit. Obviously, Varner putting here makes me like crazy nervous.
Yeah,
like really, really nervous. Brian Harman minus 130 over Westwood. Westwood hasn't hit a good golf shot in like a month, and Harman actually is playing very well. And has played well here. So that one will almost for sure be on the card. Brooks plus money over Vic. Definitely betting that. I love Brooks this week. I have my Vic concerns. Obviously, I do think he can finish 10th at golf, but that's kind of where I'm at there.
Yeah, it's just all these top guys matched up on Rivers over here. Spieth and Shane Lowry are the same odds. Who do you think should be favored in that?
Spieth should probably be favored, in my opinion.
Okay, so I would maybe take that.
His historic form mixed with his ball striking from last week is enough to get me interested for sure. Kevin Na over Webb. I don't love betting Kevin Na at all, but Webb's been like not good.
Although his course history is like really, really, really
good. But that was when Webb was like good at golf and not like 100 years old coming off an injury.
Gary Woodland minus 143 against Patrick Reed. That's juiced like crazy, but he's probably going to win that matchup.
Yeah, you would think, although that's a Masters champ you're talking about.
I actually don't mind Max Homa this week, but I really like Siwoo Kim and their
until Max Homa finishes in the top 50 at a major, you can count me the fuck out.
So I'm betting Siwoo Kim over Max Homa then.
Yeah.
There's one.
I love Max. Max is great. He's won me money. But you show up at a major, bro. Come on, what are we doing here? You've played like 10 of them. You have one top 50. I think you finished 48th once. Like, come on.
Another Lee Westwood fade. Lucas Glover is the dog against him. You don't. Wow,
Glover's the worst putter on the whole planet.
Yeah.
No way. That's disgusting. That's a horrible matchup. No one should be betting either side of that. You're just asking for like a Glover 80 on round one.
They'll probably both miss the cut, and you'll just have to hope that one of them's ahead of the other one.
Oh my God, Lucas Glover.
Spieth minus 125 against Berger is actually not a bad bet because you're getting a pretty good price on a guy with Spieth he's not facing like one of the top guys.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
The matchups are hard. I mean, you're going to go up to the top. It's Thomas and Rahm are the same odds at 114.
I mean, how do you pick?
I think you'd have to just pick Rahm just based on he's like guaranteed to finish in the top, 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
His is such a it's gonna be. I think Justin Thomas wins though, so that's hard.
You can get JT plus money plus 102 on FanDuel
with Rahm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not advising that. So don't nobody write that down because I don't want that on my hands. Yeah.
There's a lot of top guys. Spieth plus 112 over Vic. I'd rather take my.
I'm a little higher on Vic this week than you are.
I think he finishes like 18th.
His rolling report on Ben. Did you see that I tweeted earlier? Every single one, it gets better and better. And he's in the top 10 now in the last so many. Like he's been just getting better and better every time he plays bent surfaces. His issue is I don't know. Yeah, that chipping game is going to be like, what are we going to get?
I do think there's a scenario where he hits like enough greens and makes enough birdies that it doesn't kill him. The problem is like on a Sunday, it's like fuck, he just missed the green on 14. That's a bogey. He's not good enough to chip it close and make the pars that matter to win. So maybe I shouldn't be so down on him on a matchup side, but like I don't think he has the short game to win yet here. Like when it's nut crunch time,
right?
I don't think he has like you put yourself in a shitty position where you have to hit this shot, and it's like I don't know that he has.
He almost needed that Masters with that DJ one where it was like you could just flag.
Pitch and putt. Yeah. That was his first Masters though. Like, and we really expected him to like tear that up. I actually don't even know that he. Yeah, I think he played in that. I think that was his first time. Scrolling here, there's quite a few this week, which is nice. If I knew Decky was healthy, I would take some Decky matchups, but
I'm staying away from that.
You can't bet him with his health the way it is.
Xander over Corey Connors.
What's the juice there?
159, but the fact that they're offering it is like you kind of should take it. But
yeah, you probably should. Corey Connors, I know he's played well here, and I'll probably bet him top 20, but I don't know. He could really putt wrong. Like he could really like putt you out of it. To say
have we talked about Xander's finishes? I think we have. I mean, that like it's like a top 15 or 12 every time. So
2 top 5s and a 17th.
Yes, you're giving yourself such an advantage with some of these guys.
That's pretty much it for me on matchups. There's if they would give us a whole bunch down the board, I think we could go model checking and kind of just go from there. But
matchups are hard in these stacked events because just so many good players against good players.
Let's sort my model upside down and see if there's anybody that pops that there could be matchups with. Reed popped 81st in my model. That's bad.
Look up EVR versus Luke List.
I saw that matchup earlier. List popped 7th in my model.
Oh.
Van Rooyen popped 47th.
I mean, that putter might send you into the – make you go crazy, but they're the same odds, and that's like no juice for a Luke List matchup against EVR.
Luke List has one start here. He finished 33rd. Listen to Luke List's last 4 starts. Yep. 53rd, miscut, 53rd. And it's because he has lost at least 2 strokes putting every single week.
EVR's never played the Masters.
Yeah, he's a debutante. Although the course kind of sets up well for both of them in terms of just bombing out there and go from there.
EVR hasn't gained on the green since October 17th of 2021. So there's a little something for you.
Wow. I mean,
although Luke List he might have been like the years before that.
I mean, look at Luke List putting.
Yeah, that ain't good.
No, that's not good.
His last time he gained, he won, huh?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's talk some specials because there's a lot of fun ones this week.
Yes.
DraftKings, FanDuel, everywhere's got some fun ones. I can't remember where I found this bet. Unless you want to talk Tiger first.
We can talk Tiger.
Let's talk about Tiger.
Okay.
What are your Tiger thoughts?
Tiger's making the cut.
It's on my Tiger make the cut -112. Lock that up. Put that on my card in stone.
This is kind of a cop-out answer, but I mean, he's making the cut and he's not contending. Like, we're not worried about Tiger on Sunday.
No.
No.
Here's the deal with Tiger. He is like basically mastered this course.
Right.
And he wouldn't be here if his game wasn't like pretty fucking sharp, because what's the point? And by all accounts, everybody's like, yeah, he's flushing it and he's hitting it plenty far. He's been
right. They'd say that about him no matter what.
I think that you wouldn't hear that he's hitting it bad, but you wouldn't hear so many people saying like,
right.
Yeah, it looks like Tiger. Like, here's the thing. He's been chipping and putting basically exclusively for like 6 months, it sounds like, because he's been injured. He hasn't, while in between the time he was rehabbing and when he could start playing full golf. So I'm sure his short game is in good shape.
Right.
He knows the course amazing, hitting it far enough. He's Tiger. You don't have really any question about his irons. So make the cut -112. He's +120 to top 20, and he's -112 to make the cut. That doesn't make any sense to me. The cut's 50 and ties. So whatever. I'll just take the make the cut, and he doesn't miss cuts here.
No, I don't really have any really hot takes. I'm honestly not even that interested in watching him play. Like, I'm not even that jacked up about like being like, oh, let's watch Tiger tomorrow or Thursday morning. I mean, there's a reason he won this in 2000. He won this event 3 years ago. Like, he won the event. And there's a reason he did it. He was not peak Tiger 3 years ago. He won out of his knowledge and his competitiveness and his like the way that he can play. Yeah. And such like nervous big moments. Like, he dominates those times. So he's going to be fine. He has no pressure. There's going to be 1 billion people watching him. It's no different than any other tournament he's played in the last 3 years or whatever. Right. I don't really know. I don't find much like entertainment out of this. I think he'll be fine. You'll see all this stuff on Twitter. He'll probably make the cut, if not on or a little bit above the number. We'll come into Sunday hopefully talking about a Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas showdown rather than like if Tiger shoots a 59 today, he wins. Like, he ain't doing that. So like, let's skip past this and let's get some of those big dogs who are trying to win trying to win a major.
Trying to find this special bet that I had earlier. It's really
I'm just gonna hit margins real quick. DK is so scared. They're scared of me. I've influenced the market, but they've bumped down exactly 2 strokes to 275, which is bullshit. So I'm gonna have to look on Rivers for that to chop that around, but I still think this event is an easy 1-stroke, 2-stroke margin. We hit that. The fact that we hit the 2-stroke last week on the bomb was unbelievable. This event doesn't really have playoffs in it. Like, it has, but not very often when you go back and look. I think that's just more based on how much the course demands out of you. I think we're going to stick with 1 and 2-stroke, but 275 for 2 is bullshit. So if you don't want to do that and you want to do something else like top debutante or something, we could probably go over that instead.
This is I don't know if it's my favorite because I have not looked at every single one, but it's my favorite that I've found so far. Scheffler, JT, DJ, all to top 20 at 3-1.
Scheffler, JT, DJ. Okay.
Top 20.
What's DJ's form? What's the last event he played?
Match play. He got 3rd or 4th, whatever.
Oh yeah. That's not on Fantasy National, I don't think.
He also played decent at Valspar, and he shot 63 on Sunday at the Players.
Yeah, I'd be worried about old DJ.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like we talked about earlier. He could easily win this, just like anybody else. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of these fun ones though on DK and DraftKings for sure.
Let's look at the top debutant because I think it's kind of a fun bet. Cameron Young at 550 is interesting to me. Hoagie at 10-1.
Hoagie was the kind of, if I was going to go long shot based on his ball striking.
I like Burns, but I mean, I'm not betting at 330 on a guy who's never played here before.
Yeah.
So that ain't going to happen. I think Cam Young at 550 is a fun bet. I think I might add that to my card.
Top lefty, Brian Harmon, 3-1. It's Bubba, Bobby Mack, Brian Harmon, Higo, and Weir.
I don't mind that.
These top finish parlays there's some fun ones. Rom, Scheffler, Thomas, and DJ. So basically, just add Rom to that one I was talking about earlier, which is basically a lock, plus 450.
These are so hard. There's so many combinations. I know.
It's how you have to like look through all these. It's interesting.
You can get golfers winning margin like John Rahm to win by 2 or more is 14-1. So you can maybe do that and see if you want to bet John Rahm. I actually don't mind that 14-1 up because he's going to win by 1, so we might as well just bet the 2. So
yeah.
If you win, you have to win by. I mean, it's only one shot off. You're betting one stroke. You're betting you can't make one more birdie.
Yeah. There's a million of these on FanDuel, like a literal million of them.
I know the hole-in-one is going to be a popular bet this week because, I mean, they've made holes-in-one here so constantly. But picking certain players is probably going to be pretty popular. I don't really suggest trying to pick that player. But, I mean, maybe if you get lucky, you could. There's some really good odds.
Yeah, there definitely is. Okay, make the cut parlay.
Okay.
JT, Rahm, Xander, Adam Scott, and Justin Rose, plus 150.
Plus what?
Plus 150.
150 with Adam Scott in there?
Well, Adam Scott's made 20 straight cuts here.
God damn.
Literally 20. Well, Justin and Thomas and John Rahm are minus 1,100.
Yeah, he's minus 1,400 on DK.
Yeah.
I would have expected those to be odds to be higher. To tell you the truth.
Well, I mean, there's 75 guys. They're only cutting 25 actual players.
Yeah, and a lot of people are can't even have no chance to.
That's what I'm saying. Well, there's 90 guys, but there's 15 who are definitely missing the cut. And I mean, if you wanted to get really crazy, JT, Rahm, Scheffler, DJ, Xander, Brooks. That's 6 people plus 119, and they're all good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Somebody will break your heart out of that group, but
I've never really bet to make the cut parlays just because they don't really offer it. So I don't.
Well, then you could add Tiger to that, and then it's 3-1.
Wow. Yeah. There you go.
Tiger minus 112 would be on my card. I promise you that. That's no brainer.
Bryson plus money to miss the cut is interesting.
I know it is. That might make it on the card as well. Plus 140.
There's a bunch of guys on here that have good odds. Kevin Na, Patrick Reed is plus money, plus 130. Tony Finau again. I would stick to more of a matchup based approach. And invest some money in that top outright market like we talked about rather than picking some of this stuff. So I would be pretty selective once I get into these bets.
Yeah. All right. One and done. This is hard because now we're in big money Time to use your big guys. I think I've used DJ and Xander. So I have most of my top guys left. But what are you thinking?
I've already used Rom, and he won me $46,000.
DJ missed the cut, so when I picked him, that didn't work out well.
I think I'm going JT.
I currently have Brooks selected.
Okay.
I think Brooks is winning a Masters. This would be 3/4 of the Grand Slam for him. And I don't know. I feel like he's not going to get as much. Although he was the most touted outright, according to the guys on Twitter. I think that has more to do with his number or as much.
Because he was like 35 at some places, right?
No, I never saw him that high. I assumed 25, but I never saw him higher than 20.
I feel like I maybe saw one of those earlier this week, but I don't know. Maybe it was an offshore deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I've used DJ. Oh, I've used DJ and Rory and Xander. Those are the top guys I've used, which means I have Rom. I've considered Rom just be like he's playing amazing, but I want to save Rom for U.S. Open. I think, and then
I haven't used Scotty Scheffler.
I haven't either, which is bullshit because he's won 3 fucking times.
He could win again.
I said that. I'm already on the. If I will not be shocked if Scheffler wins again.
But where am I going to use JT? And I think JT wins here, so that just doesn't make sense.
PGA, it's not WGC, but the Memphis tournament. He's won that, and then you need guys for the playoffs. That's like a can't lay thing potentially too. But I also have Cam Smith left, and I can't take Cam Smith over Ron.
Xander, Scheffler, JT. That's my 3. I'm probably not going to use Xander, just because if I bet him and I use him and he, chokes on Sunday, I'm going to go insane.
Can't do that.
So it's between Scheffler and JT.
You love JT. You have to take JT.
I know. I'm taking him. Fuck it.
I think I'm going to take Brooks. I've been thinking he's going to win this since January, probably. I just think he's going to win. So I hope he does. I hope we all make a bunch of money because Brooks wins. And I'm a Brooks guy. I like Brooks. I've been to 2 golf tournaments in my life. Went to the U.S. Open at Erin Hills. Brooks was the champion. Went to the PGA at Belle Reve. Brooks was the champion. So Brooks hooked me, I guess, and ready to see him get the 3rd leg of the Grand Slam. Then he gets to go to the Open at St. Andrews and maybe get the old Grand Slam.
Well, who's your best bet?
My best bet, and we've mentioned it a million times, Justin Thomas, top 10, plus 130. And I will show you why. I've already done this, but he's number 1 in my model by like a million. All the trends for him, if you look at like career trends, I know Solly's done this on No Laying Up, kind of like what does JT's best seasons look like? Well, this looks like his best season. He just hasn't won yet. If you look at his stats in his best seasons, he wins like 3 times that year. So he's due to win a couple of times based on how he's playing. Look at this. 10th off the tee, 4th approach, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is the course that it was built for him to win at. You've already said it 100 times. I just can't ignore the difference between him and everyone else in the model. Like it's like he's on a planet of his own. But he gets bones on the bag. We haven't talked about that. Having bones on the bag is 100% going to make a difference. I can't quantify it in number of shots, like it's going to save him necessarily, but like it may just like give him a couple more options from places where Bones is like, if you hit it over here,
right,
like it'll come back down that hill more than you think. Or hey, Phil had this putt 10 years ago. It goes an inch farther right than you think. Or you just remind him of like, hey, it's really slow up this hill. You got to make sure you hit it. Not that his other caddy couldn't do that, but Bones just has way more institutional knowledge about Augusta. Plus 130, top 10, put that on the card in stone.
You know what I like about Justin Thomas also is the Tiger narrative of Tiger just like being there on Sunday.
Yeah.
and just kind of like hanging around. Tiger finished an hour earlier. Tiger finished 25th. Twitter's going crazy. He's going to win the U.S. Open. And Justin Thomas comes in down the stretch, last group, and Tiger's sitting there watching. Like that's
You can see it.
right. So
You can see it.
I mean, our bets are pretty much the same thing. We just have the different name on them. I got John Rahm top 10 plus 120. Here's his finishes: 5th, 7th, 9th, 4th, 27th. And the 27th was in 2017. I know 2017 doesn't seem that long ago. That was a long time ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. John Rahm is unbelievable. And, I know he's been frustrating this year because he hasn't, came through and won. But when the course demands such an overall skill set, and especially when driving distance can play into that so heavy this week, I just don't see it. I don't see how it goes away from that. I don't know he'll win. I think Justin Thomas will win, but I know he'll be there. And I like the number. I'm going to bet the Justin Thomas one. Also, I think both of these are easy best bets, 120 and 130 for two guys who, honestly, I hope they're just in the same group on Sunday. That would be unbelievable at the end. So we'll see how it works out, but I think both of them are in the hunt on Sunday.
This is the thing for Ron. We know he hasn't played as good lately, but
right.
His tee to green numbers are there. They're exactly what you want. His ball striking is fantastic. He's gaining like crazy off the tee and approach. Throw the players out. That was just like super weird weather. Like you can't even do anything with that. He still gained like a mother off the tee. The chipping kind of concerns me in the sense that it's important here, but like if you go back farther, he's a pretty good chipper. He gains around the green as much as he loses.
Look at those finishes in there. They're all single digits.
I know. It's crazy. Obviously, the putting, it's weird because he's a good putter. I think he's determined to be like, look, this shit that's been happening, it's weird. I don't know what's going on, but my ball striking is fucking elite, and I'm about to win this. Right. So, for me, he's like would surprise me maybe the least out of anybody if he won. Like if John Rahm just whoops ass, nobody's gonna be like, oh yeah. I can't believe
it's the type of event, right? If we were playing at some event where it was like, hey, this might turn into a punting contest, I might stray away from betting the top guy who hasn't gained on the greens in a while. But this event is so much more than putting. Like it's so much more about the power, the consistency, the ability to scramble, the ability to get yourself out of trouble based on pure talent. Like he's got all that stuff. And when he gets a little bit of confidence, that putter will be fine. When he knows he's in the hunt, like hopefully that instinct of winning the Masters will just kind of kick in and it won't really matter. So I don't put a ton of weight in those numbers. I'm more just worried about how elite his ball striking is. And it's been, if not the best for the last probably 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, he's been the best golfer alive for 18 months. He doesn't seem to win, which is weird. We've talked about that. I don't really understand why he doesn't win like 3 times a year the last 2 or 3 years.
That's concerning. Well, he won the Memorial, so I'm going to give him that one.
Yeah. It's maybe just the nature, like we were talking about earlier, there's a bunch of amazing players now. It's like 10 deep at the top that are like any given week they will win if they bring it. So maybe that's part of it. But look, he's John fucking Rahm. Like his ball striking form is there. Like I have no. Sometimes coming into this specific tournament, you've worried about his iron play in the past because he wasn't as good of an iron player. Let's say 18, 19. Well, guess what? He's figured out the iron play, and his driver did like unbelievable. So, I honestly think this might be one of the best Masters ever in terms of like, holy shit, it's Brooks, it's Rahm, it's JT, it's Xander, and like they're all like humming. Yeah, and DJ, and it's like, holy shit, 6 of the top 10 are like super studs, and it's going to be a bloodbath on Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
And maybe Tiger is like, oh shit, he just birdied 3 of his first 5 on Sunday. He's in 9th. And we get the old Tiger scare. I think we'll see good, like solid Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. It's like, shit, he's just a little fatigued because he hasn't walked like that, which what can you expect? The dude shattered his leg into a million pieces. So
Yeah, I know this sounds stupid, but like Tiger's almost like Tiger's just like kind of turned into like a Twitter golfer now. Like everybody wants to blow him on Twitter. It's like, how about we just watch him and see how he does? Like I'm interested in just seeing what he does when he comes back. I don't know. Like obviously I didn't at least grow up betting Tiger all the time, so I was never a guy who profited off of him or watched him do all this crazy stuff. I've just seen the highlights. I hope he plays well. I think he will. The experience will kick in, but I'm not here to watch every little stroke he has. I'm very interested in these top guys, and that's kind of where my focus will be, especially with the two guys we just talked about.
Yep. This sounds crazy, and this number will change drastically if he plays well Thursday for Tiger. He's 40-1 to win the Open. He's won at St. Andrews twice. That course sets up perfect for him to play well. There's no reason he cannot win that golf tournament. None. 40-1 for the best player in the history of golf at the course that he's dominated at. There's no reason he can't win that. I'm being perfectly serious.
I know, but I need to see him play. I need to see him hit a ball.
I've seen him hit balls. I watched him on the range for like 40 minutes yesterday. The dude is. I do not care. I don't worry about his game. I honestly don't worry about his game. It's just whether or not can I walk 72 holes and play the same golf the whole time and not have fatigue affect my game.
Right.
If he can do that, he's Tiger fucking Woods. We just saw it. Like the dude had a million back surgeries, finally came back, won in the fall, and then won the Masters. He can win if he can swing like Tiger can swing, he can win. Simple as that. So, and if he goes out and shoots like 68 on Thursday, even plays decent, that number is going to be gonzo. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be fun either way.
It will be fun. I got big hopes. Let's go, Justin Thomas. Let's have a fun Sunday. F1 races at midnight Central Time on Saturday night. Australia. Las Vegas announcement. Huge for the U.S. people. That's a Saturday race. That's amazing. Down the strip, street race down the strip. That'll be crazy next year. Yeah. I haven't looked at odds. Have you looked at odds for this weekend?
No.
Let's look at those real quick before we go. We're going to have to stay up late. We're going to have to buy a case of beer or something to.
I drink a case of beer. I'll be asleep. I can promise you that.
It's kind of similar stuff as what we've had.
850, and he's probably going to win one of these weeks, I would guess. The car's really good, and he's very good, and he's just getting better and better every week. But I don't know. That would be my bet on like the outright side. Signs -110 for podium. Not horrible.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Man, these aren't very good numbers.
Well, that's because they know what's going to happen.
These are terrible.
Team props. Double podium. Ferrari's -105 for double podium.
Red Bull +110 as the qualifying car. I like that a lot. I might bet that. That's probably going to be my bet right there. Red Bull as the qualifier. I mean, why is Ferrari favored over them? Didn't they lose last week? Didn't Sergio get it?
Yeah, but it was like a freaking glory lap of all glory laps.
And then the guy who was faster won the race. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think they should not be dogs to them, even. So I kind of like that 110 qualifying car Red Bull.
All right, that'll do it. Our cards will be out. These cards tend to be a bit lighter in the. Yeah. I have 5 outright picks. It'll probably be a bit lighter on the top 20 side as well, in top 30s, because there's just not many guys. The odds aren't great, but try to really dig into matchups, find some matchups, and then mix in a few specials and things like that.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll hopefully we'll be tweeting out stuff, trying to cover. We'll see how Tiger does, and it'll be fun. Like you said, we got so many guys at the top, so many talented dudes. So I just hope and pray that like 3 of them are involved.
Yeah. I would love to see 3 of them just going toe-to-toe on Sunday. That'd be awesome.
Right. So we'll see.
All right. Peace out. We'll see you next time.
See ya.